Yo, good morning, everyone. Coach David here.
Professor Muhammad, good morning.
And so we're here with Metro Jiu-Jitsu. We're talking about all of the lame excuses we heard to Wyandotte Art Street Fair. And the list is pretty long, so we should get right into it sooner than later. How you feeling this morning, though, Coach?
Pretty good.
Right on? Good night's sleep?
Of course.
Of course. Well, it's not always, of course, because sometimes, you don't.
I did the best I could.
Okay. All right. Well, sweet. So what are some, we're going to start with you. What are some, obviously we got a list. What are some excuses you heard talking to people on the street?
The excuses were hilarious this past weekend because they were like real, like people were giving you the worst, like shittiest excuses why they wouldn't want to get some free Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training in.
Yep.
And the crazy thing is the excuses, they were looking you dead in the eye, and you could see the lies coming out of their eyes when they're telling you why they can't train.
So, do you? I just want to kind of before we get into the excuses, I want to point out something that was absolutely I've known this, but it was made manifest. It was made manifest at the fair. And it was that your keyboard warriors are the biggest pansies. Like the people who are going to be like, I can't believe you would do this. I'm literally shaking. What about A, B, and C? Won't even look you in the eye. They won't even talk to you.
Yeah.
They don't know how to have a conversation. So like when there's actually like a real human being standing in front of them, and they want to say something that the other human being might not want to hear or might in any way be a contradictory, they freeze up. I literally had people side eye me like they don't know what to do. Like they have no idea what to do, and that's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah.
Because like you're dealing with things like those. You know what those fairs remind me of? You ever been to Renfest?
Runfest, no.
Renfest, it's a Renaissance festival, or anything of the like kind of a medieval times type thing. Like that's how bartering and vendors, like that's how they used to sell wares and that's how they used to get by. I mean, even in the old country, like that's how things were. Like you had to talk to people. You go to the old market and like you sold stuff and bought stuff. Now we got self-checkouts and we have self-checkouts and you can order your stuff online and like you can. You could curbside pick up and just pop the trunk. I don't even have to talk to you. You dehumanize the process. And I'm not against automation, but the more you can connect and speak with humans, the more valuable you will be, the more money you will make, and the more prosperous your life is going to be. The more you try to avoid that, it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. It's not to say you won't make money. It's not to say you won't get a job, because there's plenty of IT nerds in their mom's basement doing that. But that was made manifest. It was just kind of sad, really, really sad. Yeah. So what was your top excuse that you saw?
I didn't hear this too often, but actually heard it a couple times. So I asked this one gentleman, hey, you'd like to get a free jiu-jitsu trial? And he's like, no. And he was like a gumpy guy walking with his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't look too athletic. That's what I mean, by gumpy.
Sure.
He didn't look like he lifted weights or whatever.
Right.
So he's like, no, and they just kind of laughed it off. They were nice. So, just something clicked in me, and I walked up and stood right in front of him. I'm like, let me ask you a question. If somebody came up 50 yards down the fair and they started harassing your girlfriend, and they wanted to fight you, what would you do? And he said, just probably scream and cry or run.
Scream and cry.
Yeah, something like that.
He was a man.
He was a man. And you know
no,
what?
He wasn't.
He was being serious. It was like a real answer.
Oh
he was basically saying, I wouldn't know what to do. I can't help myself. And I would just I wouldn't do anything. I would just run, or there's nothing I could do.
Amanda and I talk about that a lot, because in terms of expectations of your relationship, she's like, if I didn't feel that you could protect me, we wouldn't be together. And she's serious.
Amanda said that?
Yeah, she's serious. She's like, not that she would leave me, that we would have never gotten together. We would have never gotten together. Like, she's looking for a certain level of, because she's very much like, she's not going to fight anyone, So like she's very much like, we would have never gotten together. And so he literally said, I would scream and cry.
Yeah, I would run, scream, and
boy, I bet they had a heart to heart later that night.
And you know what, man? Like, I know some really nice people, some really good people that don't have an ounce of any type of like physical activity inside them. And they're the same way. There's absolutely nothing they could do if, they had to defend themselves or, their spouse or their loved one.
Wow.
It's crazy. So that was the biggest one for me.
And honestly, the self-defense isn't the main reason that people still train. Like, after they've been trained for the self-defense, you've been trained for a couple years, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. You'll be all right. But they talk about, the main thing I saw, like when we would talk to guys, they'd be walking past me and they would have fried cheese on a stick or a 1,500 calorie elephant ear. And
I had one.
And they'd be which whatever, okay, whatever. But where were you Monday?
At the gym.
You were at the gym,
yeah.
Right? So I'm not dogging the elephant.
It's funny you say that because as soon as I ate it, I'm like, man, I definitely have to train tomorrow. My wife's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, where'd that come from? I'm like, well, I just ate this elephant ears, and if I don't, it's gonna stick, and I'm gonna grow some elephant hips right around my midsection.
Right. And so they're walking past me, and they've got like this. They got this fair food, which you're at the fair. It's kind of to be expected, right? Yeah. I'm not dogging.
And the elephant ears are overrated.
They are very. That's the thing. They're very overrated.
Yeah.
Like they're quite overrated. And so they look at me. I was like, what's up, man? You ever thought about training jiu-jitsu, getting in shape? And they're like, no. I'm too fat. And so that's the equivalent of saying, you know what, I gotta wait till I learn how to swim to get in the pool.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of saying, I've got to wait till I actually know something to go to school. Like that it's they're oxymoronic.
Yeah.
And so what it is, and then I was like, okay, so what are you doing to work out right now? They're like, nothing. And I was like, all right, so you're gonna and it got to the point where I was using this line, like we were talking to people. And they're like, you have considered it. I was like, really, how long? And they're like, 10 years. I said, 10 years. You ever done, like, what are you doing to work out right now? Nothing. I said, all right, well, so why don't you do the free trials? He's like, oh, I don't know. I'll think about it. And I was like, okay, hang on, pause. So it's been up to you for 10 years to get in here, and you haven't done it. Is it safe to say that you can't really be trusted with that decision? So why don't you leave it up to me to get you in here? And, like, that got a lot of, they were like, yeah, okay. Like they were already like, okay, yeah, you're right. Like I'll flake out. I'm just gonna flake out. I'm gonna come up with a reason not to do it. What's another reason? Next one's my favorite.
A really fun one was when somebody's like, "No, I carry a gun."
Yeah, especially downriver, they're like, "No, I carry."
Yeah, that was a really fun one. Was somebody, people were saying, "Well, I carry a gun." And I was thinking to myself, like the couple people that, brought up that objection, why they think they don't need to learn a martial art for self-defense is like, me and you are like just a few feet apart.
Yep.
And if we happen to get that close and I just want to bear hug you, you can't use your gun.
You can't. So here's the thing. It's a couple reasons, right? First off, it's a huge liability.
Yeah.
It's a huge liability. Like you shoot someone who doesn't have a gun, you're going to spend tens of thousands of dollars on lawyer fees trying to prove that your life was in danger. And you're absolutely right. If we're closer than this, then okay. And if we're closer than this and I've got a weapon,
yeah,
you're going to lose that battle. Like if I have a knife, I'm going to cut you. And if I don't have a knife, like you're not going to be able to draw your gun. If I'm further than that, you're going to have a hard time proving your life was in danger. Like if you're 30 feet away and you might be able to draw your gun and I don't have a weapon, you're gonna have a hard time proving your life was in danger.
Yep.
So like that's what I call a lazy man's buyout. Now, granted, like each of us, we have CPLs. Like I'm not against guns. When someone's got a gun, use a gun, right? Like don't bring a knife to a gunfight, but don't bring a gun to a bar fight either. Like that's how you end up in prison.
Oh, no doubt.
That's how you end up in prison. The next one, this is my favorite. Actually, before I want to interject, like I'm just gonna add like kind of a common one. You were calling some of these people back yesterday.
Yeah.
And this guy filled out a form Sunday.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yo, let's do it Sunday." And then you called him Monday. And he's like, no, thanks. So he's like, I talked to someone, so I'm no longer interested. And what did you say? What was the conversation? What did it look like?
I think he said he talked to his girlfriend.
Talked to his girlfriend.
Girlfriend or his wife?
So you talked to your girlfriend and your wife. Wife is slightly better. Girlfriend is we're not like, if your girlfriend is making decisions for you, you need jiu-jitsu more than you realize. Like, especially about your health. Like, I can't fathom Amanda coming to me. She's my wife. I can't imagine Amanda coming to me saying, "Hey, Dave, there's this program. It's something I've been thinking about for a long time. I met these guys at the fair, and these girls at the fair, and they want to get me into yoga or gymnastics." I can't imagine it's something like health-based and me saying, "No, you don't need to do that." I don't know what that means. I don't know what that's like. Can you imagine that? Like Nancy coming to you and being like, "Yo, I want to do Zumba." Like, let's say Zumba is like a dance thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't imagine that. And especially as like that sets the tone for a whole relationship, right? If a guy says, "Hey, I want to train jiu-jitsu, get in shape, build confidence, give me something to do outside of this." And the one, what I want to hear what the woman said. I want to hear what she said, honestly. Like I know. Did they tell you?
She just said that I talked to her and it's not a good time right now. You know what? That is probably one of the most disturbing things that I see is when a spouse tells their husband that they can't train.
How old was the dude? Do you happen to know?
I don't remember. Yeah, but like that is it's horrible. It's on so many different ways. It's just, if you as a boyfriend or a husband let your anybody in a relationship that you're in tell you that you can't wake up and go do something that's good for your mind, your body, and the people around you, then you're with the wrong person.
Yeah.
Or there's a dysfunction inside that relationship.
Yeah, 100%.
You might not be with the wrong person, but there's a total dysfunction in that relationship. And letting somebody else tell it, that's like saying to a man that you're not allowed to go to work. Yeah. Like, that it just doesn't make any sense. So
and what's funny is I saw a lot of couples, they tend to mirror each other. Right?
Yeah.
They tend to mirror each other. So I saw a lot of and listen, like, you call what you want. I'm just stating observations. I saw a lot of overweight couples, both parties, 300 pounds, walking together. And then you saw fit couple, an athletic couple. And when I say fit, I don't mean CrossFit fit.
When we say fit, we mean pass the eyeball test.
I mean, when I say fit, I mean like you look like you could walk up a flight of stairs, and it would if I was like, "Hey, we got to walk up a couple flights of stairs, or elevator's broke, we got to walk upstairs. You cool?"
Yeah.
You're like, "Yeah, no sweat." Like, that's what I mean by fit, not like, "Oh, I don't know if I can make it." Like, I don't know if I can make it. And we're not talking about handicaps. We're not talking about we're talking about, these are very clearly lifestyle diseases, lifestyle choices of again, you got for me, bro, it was the big gulps that I was seeing. Like that's almost worse than you've got 164 or 128 ounces of sugar. Like, if you were to boil down that, you ever seen that Joe Rogan special?
Yeah.
Like break down the sugar in that, it would look like a brick of cocaine. In the Slurpee. So they got a Slurpee in one hand, and then they got an elephant or a hot dog or a corn dog in the other. And they're like, no thanks, man, we're good. Not for me. And so I looked towards the end of that relationship, though. So what's going to happen is there's going to be things like heart failure or joint disease or just just imagine like even paint the picture of you take your family. Let's say you take your family on something really nice to Disney. You want to know what there's a lot of at Disney? Walking.
Yeah.
There's a lot of walking at Disney.
You know, and you can't really, you're not going to understand the ramifications of being overweight and out of shape when you're in your 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
Because your body's still relatively young. Your body's still resilient. You know, you're not even on the second phase of your life.
The second. Yeah, you're a newborn.
Yeah. So if you're 50 pounds overweight at 30 years old, it's not a good thing, you know. But if you're 50 pounds overweight at 40 and 50 years old, you know, that 50 feels like 150.
Yeah.
So, you know, if anybody watching feels like they need to lose some weight and they're in their 20s, 30s, you might not be feeling it just yet. But as soon as you hit the 40s and above, like, it's really going to slow you down. That's like it's an anchor. It's really going to slow you down.
100%. And then you can't enjoy things. You can't enjoy things like that would just be for your family, right? Like so. Like let's go back to Disney. So you're going to spend average ticket to Disney is around $6-7 grand for the week, like all in. You know, wow. $6-7 grand. So you're going to spend $6-7 grand for a family, and you're going to be walking, looking from park bench to park bench.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for. That's not quality of life. Like that's low quality of life.
Yeah.
Like that's really, really low quality of life. And so getting into that, and there comes a point, I compare it a lot to cars. You get a car off the lot, you can redline that bad boy for a minute before you see any real ramifications. But then when you're looking at used cars, you can tell the ones that have been beat, and you can tell the ones that have been taken care of.
Yeah.
And the ones that have been taken care of, they're really rare.
Yeah.
So right after the gun, what excuse do we got?
I don't have time.
Yeah. Well, you're probably only able to train because you own a jiu-jitsu academy. That's probably the only reason you train, right?
No, actually, both of us worked just as many hours before, but we made it a point. You know, sometimes we were training at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, so what you do for a living has no bearing on how much your ability to train. Like nowadays, you know, we have classes sometimes we have classes 2 times a day, and we have, you know, you can catch a beginner class, an advanced class, competition class, a weekend class, an open mat class. So it's not possible that you work, you know, morning till night and miss every single jiu-jitsu class.
Yeah.
And if it's not on our schedule, it's going to be on somebody else's schedule.
Right.
So, you know, find a time to train. Like the too busy one, that's another one that like pinched a nerve with me because
if people had any idea what your schedule looked like, they wouldn't dare say that to you. Like they literally they wouldn't even begin to say those words.
You know, I don't want to make this about like an obese thing. Like this is not about obesity. This is about feeling good, being able to work, take care of your family, protect your family. It's not about being fat and thin, muscular and obese. This has nothing to do with that. But what really concerns me is when you see couples that the wife is on the husband's hip or vice versa, and they're like, "Oh, I'm too busy. I work a lot." And you could see the posture of the wife kind of stand up and the chest comes out. You could see the wife's chest come out like, yeah, he ain't got no time. He's just going to work and come home. And that's what the husband says. It's like, I work all day. I work 40, 50 hours a week and I come home and I just don't have time for it. And like a wife or a girlfriend that's accepting of a man who goes to work all day long with no physical outlet or no physical release, I promise you, just a matter of time, you're asking for trouble.
So you are asking for trouble, and that, again, we're just gonna kind of like, because we're talking about jiu-jitsu. I don't want to bring whatever. I mean, it's all connected, right? You talk about relationships. Like I'm in several different marriage groups, and they are like it's like a mystery to the wife. They're like, I don't know. Like he's kind of angry now. And he started talking to me. What would you ladies do? What would you men do? Why is he talking to me this way? And like my first comment, and everybody's comment who's paying attention is, what's he do? What are his hobbies? Like what's he do outside of work? They're like, well, he used to do this, but he hasn't done it in a minute. Yeah, you need to get his ass into something. Like honestly. And it doesn't mean he doesn't love you. It means that especially as men, this is ingrained into the male anatomy. The male anatomy is to compete in something. And if you compete in business, that's great and that's your job. But a lot of men don't. Like it doesn't feel like there's a lot of competition going on if you're a lineman or if you're on the assembly line at Ford. Like there's not a whole lot of competition going on. And so like there, jiu-jitsu is an amazing thing because I tell everyone, like we're right next door to Planet Fitness. I don't work out there. I hate the gym. It's not enjoyable. You will continue to do things that you enjoy. So find things that you enjoy that you can't wait to do. If you come in and you try jiu-jitsu and you're like, that sucked, I don't like it, fine. Find something else. But you need a hobby. Your life can't consist of just going to work and coming home. That's how you create a stale life. That's how you create like monotony. That's how you remove all spontaneity from that life. And then you have the audacity to go on a Facebook group and say our sex life is stale.
So of the clients that you work with in your Elite Husband coaching program, of the people who come to you that have like challenges inside their marriage, what percentage of them, I mean, are a lot of them ones that maybe don't exercise or are sedentary?
Yeah, no, more of them are so than not because I think they see a lot of it like a lot of like my messaging out there. It's a lot of jiu-jitsu as well. And so like they're going to be a little bit more attracted to that. They're active, like marathon runners, what have you. So but just in general, like the whole because here's what I think is when it's funny you mentioned the wife puffing her chest out like that. I didn't pick up on that. Normally I pick up on body language like that. The wife thinks
it's very common.
The wife thinks I'm gonna pay attention now. The wife thinks he's gonna go out and have fun and I'm stuck with the kids.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. And you know what my answer is to that? Sure, get her into something too. You got a day, she's got a day. Yeah. You gotta take the kids, bro. Sorry. Yeah. Like get her into something she enjoys. Buy her something. Like Amanda works out more than me. I think I've told you this. She works out more than I do.
Really?
Yeah, she does Peloton like 4 or 5 days a week. Pregnant. Wow. She's doing November. She's still rocking Peloton.
Good for her.
Yeah, she does. She's really, really, and it's shown, right? Because I think she's gained like 5 pounds this pregnancy.
Wow.
2.5 of which are Jameson. So that get them into something too. Get them into jiu-jitsu. Like we have what? How many women do you think we got? 20?
Man, we have so many moms and dads that train alongside with their children. Like I can't count.
Yeah.
I love seeing that. And you never know. You could look at jiu-jitsu and martial arts and think, oh no, that's not for me. But obviously you don't step into a martial arts school and you're sparring or you're going 100 miles an hour.
That's important. Finish that thought. That's important.
Yeah, and it's been very surprising to see how many parents are sitting on the backside watching their kids for weeks and even months, and then decide to jump in. And they're like the most feminine little moms. You would never think it's going to do something like this that are hopping on more and more. Yeah. And they love it.
Yeah. I think that's kind of another thing that men, one I can understand just because of the stigma that jiu-jitsu has. You hear jiu-jitsu, you think UFC. Like you immediately think UFC.
Yeah.
And so they're like, no, man, that's not for me. And they're like, I don't want to get injured. Which that's a legitimate one, right? Like again, you're a tradesman. Like I don't want to get injured, dude. Did you see that dude's knee snap at the ADCC?
Yeah,
I want to like
his ankle.
It was his ankle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
I thought it was his knee.
No, it was his ankle.
Oh, that's better. it's still not good, but that's better. That was vicious. That was like an audible like pop through the crowd. Yeah, that was high level competition. But I don't want my ankle snapped, right? Like so, like when was the last? I can't remember the last injury I had on the mat.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, and yeah, how about when was the last injury you had, like from jiu-jitsu, like from a submission, from whatever?
Other than wear and tear, like, you know, it's like you get scraped up like falling off a bike, but you keep going.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like going to the gym, lifting weights. You're gonna get tweaked or strained every once in a while,
Right.
but you know, I think we've said in one of our other podcasts, people get more injuries at work and at other sports activities as a jiu-jitsu member than actually training jiu-jitsu.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, you don't, you know, that's the coolest thing about jiu-jitsu is you're uncomfortable, you tap. You're not sure, you tap. You want to start over, you tap. So it's actually very, very, very safe.
Yep, absolutely. So then right after there's no time or there's too busy, you know, I'm not gonna let that one off the hook real quick. Like you can make time for things that are important to you. If your doctor came to you and said, "Hey, listen, bro, you got 6 months to live if you don't start working out," or you got 6 months to live, or what we see with a lot of law enforcement, they get in a position where they like their life was literally a danger, and and it came down to they couldn't access their weapon or whatever, and it was hand-to-hand combat, and now their life's a danger. So now they're like, okay, I need to make sure that doesn't happen again for me and my family. I'm going to make time for this. So it's just a matter of the urgency. Just because you may not have the need now, why wouldn't we be preventative about that? And not to mention, and these are all, we've hit on the fitness, we've hit on the self-defense. Those aren't the main reasons people keep training. Those are what get them in. The main reasons are far, far more long-lasting than that. This one's my favorite. This was cute. Parent says, you know, she got 2 kids, and they're like, sorry, we're already in activity.
Yeah.
What's your answer to that?
So, you know, I have one of my cousins, a good friend of mine, and he's obviously seen my kids go from starting jiu-jitsu and, you know, grow up in jiu-jitsu for many years. He's seen the maturity in them. He's seen the physical maturity, the emotional maturity, the social maturity in them. You know, kids who train jiu-jitsu, whether it be mine, yours, or anybody else's, they have a little bit better of a head on themselves, and they have something that's called like the it factor, where you don't know what it is or where it comes from. So my cousin has seen this for a minute. So he, you know, he planned on putting his daughters into in our little Pandas program. He was a competitive football player, basketball player. He's played college football and basketball at the same time. So he's like Alabama. He has a deep history in sports. He understands them. So instead of putting them in jiu-jitsu, he actually, one of them is 2.5. The other one is like 4 years old. He started them in soccer and basketball, you know, and like, if you, 3 or 4 year old training jiu-jitsu for 1 year or training basketball for 1 year, even at that age, you're going to take way more from jiu-jitsu and martial arts than you would dribbling a basketball. And some people just think that they know what's best, you know, like pulling your kid out of jiu-jitsu because you get frustrated with something or somebody. Yeah. You think you know what's best. And, you know, parents need to like recalibrate and understand what the hell is the objective and what is your outcome for enrolling your kid in swimming. If your outcome is enrolling your kids into swimming because it's a life skill, it's an amazing full body workout, and God forbid you're ever in a lake or something, you want them to learn how to swim and to, you know, without drowning, that's a great reason why to put them in there. Yeah. But if you want to put them in baseball or basketball, what is the outcome?
Yeah, like, what's the goal of it?
What's the goal? And I'm not saying don't put them in basketball or something like that. Well, I'm saying that at a young age, martial arts should trump every other exercise because, you know, you can take what you learn in martial arts and it's going to support you in basketball and football and any other sport.
Yeah. They, it's important, and it's important to know it doesn't have to be an either or.
No.
Like how many of our kids train jiu-jitsu, and how many of your kids train jiu-jitsu and do soccer? It's not. This is not a 7-day a week commitment, right? Most of them train a couple days a week.
Yeah, 2-3 days.
Yeah, 2-3 days a week, and then they go do other things. So if you're and a lot of times what they're looking for is like, I want my kid to have fun, right? I just want my kid to get into something, and they don't know what. Yeah. So if you want your kid to get into something and you sign them up for soccer, guess what? Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Right. And soccer, I have no idea how much soccer is now, depending on how competitive it is. But like, if you're just like, hey, I need some volunteers to go let kids run or babysit my kids and kick a ball on a grass field. Yeah. I mean, they're into something. I don't know if you'll be able to like, I don't know if you're going to be able to go back and relate their college graduation or high school graduation or big job promotion to that soccer time, but if you say, because parents come to us and they're like, yeah, my kid is the big one is he has no focus. Right. So finding an academy, especially with what we do here, like finding an academy, the martial art itself was going to teach you focus.
Yeah.
Combined with the fact that we reinforce it, like we refer to parents like you listen to coach on the mat. Who's your coach at home?
Mom and dad.
Mom and dad. You listen to them the exact same way. And if you don't listen to them, you can expect consequences on the mat. Like it's just like anything else. Now we're very much reward based, like reward based. Like you earn something. I talked to these two. They were definitely suits, right? So but they were like dressed down for the fair. And they just the way they presented themselves, and they were like, no. They were like, yeah, well, it'll be good for you to ride herd on them, And I was like, we have definitely more of a reward based approach. I was like, and which you can relate to, I'm sure. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, okay. I was like, what do you do for work? And one was like made plastics, and the other guys was in logistics. I was like, all right, what's gonna make you get the stuff done? Get the shit done or you're fired, or get the shit done, you get a raise. Which one? And they both looked at each other like, oh, I want the raise. I was like, of course you do. So you're going to work harder for that, right? I mean, you might still get it done. I said negative reinforcement works short term, but then it creates bitterness and hostility and like resentment. A lot of things that you don't really want as a parent or as a coach.
Right.
And so I love that you brought up swimming, because that's a life skill.
Yeah.
Like you, it's pretty highly probable you'll need that. Self-defense is a life skill. Now, full disclaimer, I've been training jiu-jitsu going on 13 years. I haven't needed to use it since I started training. But it's also like, if I wanted to get in a fight, I had plenty of opportunities. I had plenty of opportunities to get in a fight. But it's like, what? When you realize, I did the street interview with this dude. He was like, dude, when you win a fight, it loses all of its glamour. And you're just like, whatever. Like, I'm good, man. I'm gonna leave now. Like you win, you're the tough guy, whatever. I'm gonna leave the situation or de-escalate or whatever. Now, some guys actively tries to attack you, it just hasn't happened yet. But like you know that's there. That's there. So what would it be like? And I've seen this change with Scarlett too. Yeah, this may come maybe as a surprise to you. I don't have your Palestinian, old school muscular genes. Like we're just not. I wouldn't call us, my family, an athletic family. And so I wouldn't call. But she's doing the competition class.
Scarlett is?
Yeah. At least she did last week.
Wow.
And she came out of there, and at first, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was like, oh my gosh, is she okay? Like, cause her face is all red, her hair is all, she's got big hair, all frizzy. And she does that because she doesn't know any different. She doesn't know it's an extreme thing. So she's like, oh, dad trains and Landon trains, and I'm gonna do that. This is just what I do. And then guess what? When she goes home, guess what she does? She eats snacks because she gets rewards for that. So you do a competition class, you've earned some snacks in my book. It's not like an all or nothing type thing. So that you can change sort of the pattern of your family and your kids like that.
And they definitely are the product of their environment.
100%.
Yeah.
The team, the coaches.
Yeah. And then, you got to say, sometimes you hear, well, that's the coach's daughter. That's the coach's daughter. The coach doesn't coach his daughter.
Yeah.
The coach doesn't push his daughter. The coach doesn't pick his daughter up when she gets knocked down. The coach has basically no coaching when it comes to his daughter. The coaches do.
Yeah, I literally can't tell you the last time I was on the mat, like sat mat side and watched Scarlett.
Yeah,
can't tell. It might have been back when we had like mat side seating. Honestly, like I can't tell you the last time because she. This is important. I will make her nervous. My daughter's not exempt. I'll make her nervous. And then when she gets taken down hard, guess what she's going to do? That she would not have done elsewhere.
Cry.
She's going to cry.
Yeah.
She's going to cry because now I embarrassed dad. I let dad down.
Yeah.
Or she's going to always keep looking over at me. Right? So like I'm a distraction.
Yeah.
Even if I'm on the mat, I make sure like coaching the class, I make sure not to be in her area. Or I'll switch coaches so that someone else can coach her. And so that's like a huge thing. And then at home, all I do is I'm just proud. I'm so proud. I tell her how proud I am of her. I reinforce that. I ask her, whichever teammates did amazing. How is she being a teammate? Not what did you, I mean, sure you can, what did you learn? But like, which teammate did you help today?
Yeah.
Did you learn anyone's name?
And you know what, for all of you parents and adults listening, if you want to be a big piece of the puzzle on your team or at your school, the best way to do that is to add value to the team and be there to support your team. That could mean training. That could mean doing comp training. That could mean, going to a class when you don't feel like it. That could mean rolling with someone or doing technique with someone that doesn't usually have a partner. But if you want to add value and you want your school and your instructor to say, you know what, this guy is an important piece of our puzzle, do it by supporting the team. Go for your team. Don't go for yourself.
Absolutely. The last thing that I kind of just want to end with is if people knew what it felt like to train jiu-jitsu or especially right after jiu-jitsu, I don't think they would ever. I think they'd have a very difficult time stopping. Like if they knew how good it felt to train and to go and to actually do it, like how good it felt, I don't think they would stop.
We all know that we need to focus more, right? We know everybody knows, man, I need to get off social media. I need to focus on work or home. Focus. When you're training martial arts, you're training your brain how to have laser focus on what you're doing at that moment in time. And it always is going to translate off of the mat. That laser focus that your spouse needs, your wife needs, that laser focus that your career needs in order to move up, make more money, or, whatever it is, that laser focus that you need to have when it comes to like your health outside of the mat. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and martial arts teach you practice having laser type focus for, 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes at a time. And that's a lot of time to practice laser focus.
Yeah. And it's worth mentioning that like our word of the month with the kids is excellence, right?
Yeah.
And they pursue excellence because it's honestly not much more difficult to outperform your peers. It's not, right? Like you can end up in with 10 to 15% more effort, you will automatically end up in the top 10% because half don't show up.
Yeah.
Half just like they show like let's pretend they show up on time. Let's make believe they show up on time. They're not there. Their headspace is somewhere else. They're on their phones. They're like counting down the clock. So if you show up with intention and be like, I'm going to do this, pursue excellence in every area of this job. I'm telling you, you're going to stick it. They're going to be like, people are going to look at you weird. Like, why are you like, you remember that scene in Forrest Gump? And he's like, damn it, Gump, why'd you assemble that rifle so quickly? He's like, you told me to, drill sergeant. Like they look at him weird, right? Like pursue excellence in that. And once you get in that habit, like it's difficult to do elsewhere. That's why a lot of guys like they I've just lost track how many people like they literally get promotions. And we're in a landscape, not going to play the doomsdayist mentality, but we're approaching an economic landscape where if you're an underachiever, it's not going to bode well for you. Like shit's not going to go well. Like it's going to be a hard line between those who don't give a damn and those who are like, yep, I'm here to work, I'm here to play, let's get results. And these people will be compensated aggressively, and the other people will be the ones. Well, I mean, they're going to be battling for the job, the entry level jobs. Got anything to add to that?
You learn to add value on your team. You learn to add value at work. I mean, it's really about, what you bring to the table for your team. People want team players. They don't want, they don't want individual superstars,
Yeah.
They don't want Elvis.
Justin, right. Justin's he says a few of my friends, Justin was actually at the fair, at the booth helping us, and his son, Phoenix, was out there like,
what's up, Justin?
Was trying to get people to, do the trial. He said, a few of my friends have seen my child's behavior and complimented it. I told them to go to Metro. Right? They always look at that and they're like, oh, your kid's so well behaved. And then they want to blame it on the nature. My kid's not like that.
Yeah.
You don't train your kid like that.
Yeah.
I learned that from my son. He said, I make him nervous because he always wants to win when I'm watching. They want to make you proud. Yeah, they want to make you proud, right? So so now they're less concerned about listening to the coach or doing the match, but they want to make you proud. You want to know a great time to watch your kid and cheer your kid on? Tournaments.
Yeah.
It's a great time to cheer your kid on. Okay? Every other time, not so much. Not so much. And it's fascinating to me. The parents who want to cheer their kid on don't train jiu-jitsu. What are you going to help them with? You can't show me a proper shrimp. What are you going to help them with? There's 18,000 terabytes of jiu-jitsu technique. If you want to take video and footage, that would be a great place to do it, YouTube. But since YouTube can't place that, leave it in the hands of the coaches. Justin says guilty. Even if people at Justin's work, though, he's like, they ask you, why are you working so hard? He's like, I'm just trying to do the best I can. I want to be proud that I put in, and when I showed up, I actually showed up today. So that's pretty much it. You got any comments on yours?
No, that's it.
Okay, sweet. So guys, we're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing our podcast different. We got some really cool things coming up. Coach Bruno is hosting his seminar this Saturday in the gi. And then he will also be promoting Coach Jabril to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. So it's a big belt, man.
Yeah.
Brown belt's a big belt. Did you see Voyage got 3 new black belts?
No.
They got 3. They got Steve. All I know is Steven and a couple other dudes.
Steve who?
Smallridge.
Okay.
Yeah, by I know them by face. I don't know their names though.
That's cool.
Imagine getting 3 new black. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know they had that many brown belts. But that brown belt, for those who don't know, brown belt is 90. I'm gonna call it 90% of the way to black. It's like you're just a black belt who's sharpening your sword at that point. That's what Sala Ribeiro says. So it's a big deal. And so and then our team barbecue is this Saturday, and also at the same time. So that's for our members and their families or friends. And all of our members have that link to actually join that in RSVP. And
it's the 30th. Barbecue is 30th.
Saturday. Yeah.
It's 10 days.
Oh, I'm sorry, not this Saturday. Oh, you're right. 11 days.
You're getting excited.
I am getting excited. It's not this Saturday. It's Saturday after. What's this? I have something going on this Saturday. But that's it, guys. So post any, share any clips. Skip them ahead to the parts that you thought were beneficial. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe.
Hit the button
and
right there.
Yeah, and it really helps us out. And plus, you get to see more of our dope content. So, as always, guys, we'll see you on the mats.